How are
Hi.
you? How are you?
Good.
Good morning or good evening for you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It-
Oh, looks
It's
so
my,
nice and sunny there.
yes, this is my studio, my office. It's got the
Uh,
pool wraps around there. It's pretty nice and hot, actually.
nice.
I'm in my glass for ice box, they call it. My office is the ice box. I've got two heat
Oh.
air conditioners in here. It's super cool. Yeah. Otherwise, but nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Jody's talked about you quite a bit.
Well, she's amazing. We're going to see her very, very soon, actually. So we're quite
Yeah.
excited about that. And Rochelle want to introduce you to Victoria. She says my name, but she's Victoria.
Hi.
She's our VIP client manager, and she's our events
Hi.
manager as well. So she's always here to make sure that the clients get what they need and that I'm hearing you properly and all the things work out well. And then Larcy's also here, who manages and runs all my schedules and all of that good stuff. So
Very
you're in
cool.
good company.
Awesome.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. I know like we had a little bit of back and forth. Jody shared a little bit about what you're up to in real estate and where you're going. I'd love to know more and, see what some gaps that you have that possibly we could help fill.
Yeah, for sure. So Alyssa is my business partner. So her and I started our company about 6 years ago, and it's really grown from nothing to something. And so we actually just hired and partnered with a social media digital marketing agency because that is not our wheelhouse. We're really good at finding good deals and making a lot of money for our investors.
Yeah.
But past that, it's like that's my area of expertise. I don't tech well. And so we do have a team at home, and we've got, social media girl who runs our social media. We have a salesperson who's taken over my side of sales in Canada while I am down in the States pursuing which cities we're going to be researching and then expanding into in the next couple months here. And then this digital marketing company, essentially they're helping us with more like sales funnels and basically finding investors to partner with us. And so we're very grassroots. We started very humbly, very meager type thing. And so we are growing, right? And so where Jody was kind of mentioning that it might be a good fit is you guys, like I saw the stuff you did with Jody, right? With the filming and all that stuff, and everything looks amazing. Yeah. So I know you have some stuff coming up, but Alyssa and I would be probably, if we were interested or able to do something, our capacity wouldn't be until the fall or winter, just because we just have things booked in for the next few months kind of thing. So yeah. And then also personally, we're both trying to kind of get our health back because we were all in for the business for so long. We really let our bodies just kind of go to shit. Pardon my French, but that's pretty much where we're at. So we're just trying to get back into the groove of starting to work out again and starting to lean out. And I don't want to have any footage. Just, spend that kind of money and have, stuff that you're not going to be able to use in a year from now type thing. So that's kind of what I was kind of thinking of for you guys, or like, as far as what I've seen Jody create and all that kind of stuff, that's kind of where I was thinking.
Okay, awesome. And what is your actual service that you guys do? I know it's in real estate, but what do you provide? Like,
So we are full-time active residential real estate investors. Okay. So we're the active party. We find amazing deals for investors to fund deals or put their money to work in real estate, essentially. And so our avatar, like our perfect client, who's going to partner with us, is somebody who's so busy leading their best lives that they don't have time to go out and find property or be a landlord or look for the deals or learn markets or want to flip a house. Like they just don't have the time or the means to do it. Right. So again, people like Jody who are, passionate about what it is they're doing. And, again, she came from the corporate world where you don't have time to go out and be like, oh, I'm going to look at being a real estate investor in my spare time. By the time you're raising babies and by the time you're working your job, there is no spare time. So that's where essentially people would partner with us. Okay. So all of our clients get double-digit returns. They're tied to like individual property. So sometimes people are like, oh, well, you guys are just a REIT, or like we don't do any multifamily. So we don't pool people's funds. So that's kind of the difference between what we do and what pretty much everybody else in real estate does. We don't pool funds. We have one person per property. So if anything ever were to go, you know, worst case scenario, our business folded, every single investor would end up with their assets, right? Because they're tied to each individual deal. So again, we always look at it like, if I was going to be on something, I wouldn't want to be getting pennies on the dollars back if a condo build doesn't end up panning out, right? Whereas if you have one individual house and something doesn't happen, you know, with, again, our business is built that nothing will happen, but worst case scenario, because again, we're very realistic. And we always say, you always want to make sure that you know the worst case scenario, right? So there's an education side to everything as well. And so, you know, that's what we try to bring people. And so, yeah, so we really just one other thing. We basically train people on how to be private money lenders. That's what we do. So.
Okay. All right. I got it. The last statement that you said actually was the most valuable statement. Not that anything you said wasn't valuable. What I do and what we do specifically is we help brands and companies clarify their image, their message, and their strategy. Okay. And the biggest fail, if it is, that most business owners, and it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, literally, I've had some big conversations with some multi-billion-dollar companies. And when you say, what is it they do? They have like a long dissertation and they're not nailing their message. And that happens a lot. And so what we do really well is we help brands and companies say, this is exactly what I do so that you can nail it. So when somebody meets me, it's nice to meet you. I'm Rhonda Swan, the CEO of the Ensemble Branding Agency. We help our clients create sexy brands and turn them into profit-making machines. So instantly, you're like, whoa, what is that, right? It opens up the window for that discussion, right? So when someone is introducing themselves or meeting you, is that how you typically would introduce yourself? Or do you typically have more of a nailed?
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Okay. If I'm actually introducing myself, I always tell people that, yeah, I'm a full-time active real estate investor, and I work with people who are so busy leading their best lives, but they want to invest passively in real estate. So I help our clients get to their future financial goals faster.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Which I expected you would have one, right? Because you need to have it, and it's got to be tight. And it actually, it could even be better, right? Because as investors, and what I'm hearing, I'm just regurgitating what I'm hearing and downloading, that we're looking at busy business owners, people that want to make a high ROI, and they don't have time to even consider what that would mean. So even tighter message, I would suggest, I'm just going to give you suggestions. I would give a really tight pitch where it's exactly what they need. So it's what you do and the desired outcome of the client, what you do and the desired outcome. And that's what we work typically mostly on with our clients, is making sure that not only is your brand image very clean and clear, where everything is congruent, right? That it's, across all sales processes. And I'm sure you probably have logos and looks and feels and your colors, and everything has a meaning and all of that good stuff. I'm sure you guys have worked really on that. And it's so important, right, to know that we've got how people perceive you is what you're giving off, and that even what you want to give off may not be what they're perceiving. So that's important when we're looking at color and dynamics. And then, of course, the message is super vital, especially if you have a digital marketing agency. A lot of times digital marketing agencies, they do really well with the activity, but when it comes to like the messaging and the tight focus of exactly who are we targeting and exactly who can we help and what are the keywords that will make them go, oh, I like that, opposed to, they're just another real estate investor that helps people, make their best life. Like best life to me could also be swimming in my pool, right? Best life to my daughter is doing art all day. Best life to most investors.
But that's, yeah. It's, sorry. I was going to say, yeah. But that's what I was going to say, though. Everybody's version of a best life is exactly that, though. Like literally, I have clients who literally swim all day. I literally have other clients who paint all day. I have other clients that have kids and they are putting them through college and they work their job, right? So again, it's different because we aren't targeting busy business owners. We aren't targeting millionaires. We're targeting the average everyday person who realizes that the way they've been investing is flawed.
Got it. Great. I think that you could, there's definitely some suggestions I could help you with to tighten that message up, right? And it just comes down, that's what comes down to understanding messaging, because you know that person, and you're right. It's the average everyday person, and that's what you should be saying. We help the average everyday person invest in real estate so that they can either living their best life. It's still vanilla. We called vanilla chocolate languaging, right? Still okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just you could nail it even tighter. And I would just focus that way, right? And giving them what it is that they actually want. Because best life, of course, it does mean anything to everyone, but that's also a very cliche statement. So I'm just giving some kind of ideas of what I'm hearing. And because anytime someone comes to meet us or meet me, I always want to make sure I give you value. I'm not here to sell anyone anything, because our work is impeccable, right? But I always want to make sure that I'm like, oh, I could just help you now, right? Give you suggestions now. It could just be something to consider. But thank you for that. I mean, really, thank you for understanding it or hearing it and possibly downloading some of that. Because it really helps, right? It helps us when we're looking at how do we clarify our message. And we call it, it's got to be grunt testable, right? It means if you said what you did to a caveman, they've got to grunt and go, I know exactly what it is. And that is psychologically, right? We're, as humans, we love stories, and oxytocin starts to generate in our brain when we get excited or a story comes along or something that can help us now, right? So it's clarifying that message so clean that they immediately don't have to use extra mental bandwidth to understand what you do, right? Because typically we do that. We're like, oh, I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this. They're like, still not quite sure. But when we nail it, we get obviously more attraction. And that's because you have a digital marketing agency is why I'm saying this. Okay, I'm telling you this specifically so that you're on it and you're not leaving it and handing the hands off to them, because I see it a lot.
No, we do all of that in-house. They basically we've done some brainstorming with them, but we do our brand stuff in-house, right? Okay. And then basically we have to give them a lot of information so that they can target our clients. And so right now they haven't even launched any of like the actual campaigns. They just did some beta testing and they had to stop it because it was so successful. So again, it just goes to a test.
How are you measuring success? Because that's a statement. They had to stop it because it was successful. How are you guys measuring success then?
The amount of leads that have actually come, the volume, it was higher than they had anticipated. And so they were like, whoa, we got to stop, because we were getting too much interest and our system of onboarding the clients was not there to where it needed to be. Right. So they went out, got this interest, because again, our product is something that's kind of revolutionary. And I know everybody says that too, but it's interesting though. Like when people actually hear about it, they're like, why don't more people do this? And I'm like, I'm not sure. They're like, I've never heard this before. I'm like,
so let me ask you, so what I'm hearing, and this is good when we start to get information, is what I'm hearing then is that you've got a really great front end stream. Like you've got traffic eyeballs that are coming forward. And the bottleneck it seems as if you're stuck on either physical being able to call them or handling them and onboarding them. Is that right?
So again, we have one salesperson who's still learning, right? So he needs to be able to get his systems in play. Right. So again, it's got to be a well-oiled machine. Right. And so right now it's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page so that when people are actually coming through, they're getting serviced properly instead of losing leads. Right. Because that's the worst thing.
If I'm asking redundant questions, I'm just trying to understand your sales process so I can see, because our objective when we came in is how I can help you fill the gaps. And whenever I can hear and see someone's business, like boom, there's a gap right there. So you've already identified that he's just trying to get his systems together. And so that means that everything at this time is manual on the back end. Is that right?
Yeah. So that's what everything is trying to get the answers in place so that a VA can handle stuff. Right? Like it's just, again, it's systemizing. That's really what we're working on right now, but it's an evolution and it takes time.
Okay. And what are you guys doing in that process? What are you doing for that process then?
That's where I don't know. I can't speak to that. That's more my business partner side of what the business is. I deal with basically the expansion side, right? Okay. So as far as like identifying new markets and opening up and fostering all the current investors, right?
Okay, yeah.
All of our investors have my phone number on speed dial. I legit live and breathe this business. I never turn off my phone. And so again, you know, any of my clients who bring new clients on that come to me, I field them all directly. But anybody who comes through the site organically, that's what's their job. Like that's what they're doing. So I don't know. We conquer and divide a lot of stuff.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and the reason why I share this again, just because I'm not trying to be redundant, just because I'm attempting to understand the process. And I think that you probably have seen Jody's process. This is the wrong map. I have a map that I was going to show you. Here it is. We helped create Jody's complete backend. So Jody actually makes sales right now, $1,000 sales on automation. And it's because not only that we made her look pretty and we put her in a nice film, that was after 4 months of working together with her and taking her book, automating her book with a funnel, and then putting her together her course that also upsells her book, upsells then her course, so that she doesn't have this bottleneck problem. She's also doing, her group coaching with clients and one-on-one stuff, but there's no bottleneck there. So the reason why I was asking those questions to understand, and I understand that you may not be your swim lane or your zone of genius of understand the technology side. That was the gap, of course, that I can see. And I heard that you said you're working on funnel. But if you are getting that much traffic and there's no back end, you are currently working on this then. Someone is already putting together that front end offer to bring them through a funnel, to then move them through a call, or to educate them, or to have them buy a course first so that you're not having to physically talk to all those people, and then the ones that you do are highly qualified.
Yeah, we don't have a course. Like we have to, again, it's qualifying them through questioning basically, right? Making sure that they have either cash, credit, or underperforming invested funds to actually deploy. And then they have the genes or like the want to be passive. Because again, some people are flipping houses on their own and all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, yeah, I love this idea of being passive. But then when we meet with them, they can't, they're control freaks and they're so used to running the whole show. They don't have that. They can't be passive, right? And so it's just basically having qualifying questions to make sure that they're a good fit for us.
Okay, I see. And have you ever, so these are even before you guys even talk to them, right? This is like,
so that's what we're trying to put together right now.
Okay. Have you considered doing a quiz, or not even a quiz, like where you're qualifying actually people before you get to an application form, like a funnel that just qualifies them? Yeah, that's what you're working on now.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because that sounds like a really big, sticking point in order to ever even get you away from your phone, or even to be able to just live your best life. Is these type of things are going to get in the way unless you have someone that does understand how to do that for you. We can only bring in so much clients, and if we can't serve them right, then we won't even have time to do events or to take care of ourselves or to leave. Because for me, whenever I'm listening to work with potential clients or have someone come to our events, I'm like, there's got to be someone that can actually mentally be ready and that their business is working for them so that their message is so great, because that's what we do so well. Like we're well-oiled machines. Everything we do is right. Everything's seamless. Everything's flawless, and your mind is flawless because you have all those systems in place. So I always just like to make sure that those that are working with you, or the way your processes are going, if I could help you in any way, we certainly would. And then of course we're here to chat about the event as well, because we do all the same. We literally take one brand and flush it all the way through, completely systematize and automate their whole processes so that you can have and live your best life, right? So the brand side of it all is everything. It's what the sexiness is about. That's what makes it sexy, right? And so that would be another really good suggestion is, having something that's just as simple as a qualifying quiz funnel. Like this is something that we do now that literally just qualifies them all the way through to, an outcome. They ask them all these questions. So I don't even talk to anyone until they've actually gone through a process. And only personal referrals I speak to one-on-one. Typically they go through, right, the setters. So it's just, these are so vital. And then it just qualifies people to getting your content. So you give them your report, your, whatever you might want to call it. And then they actually get, really quality content. But by then you've given them so much value already. And now they get this incredible report, whatever it may be. And now they fill out an application. So now they're really qualified. So make sure that whoever's doing this work with you, that they're doing it in a very simplified way. Because I see a lot of people doing it really wrong. And then they just using a lot of automation, and it's mixed up.
Yeah, no,
that
that
really
is
helpful for you guys. I think if
yeah,
there's a
that's very
bottleneck
much.
there, he shouldn't.
I think there's a little overlap there.
I think too. I think we're just totally bouncing around.
I think your internet's cracking a little, Rochelle.
Yeah, I think we've had an issue. One of our internet systems went down, so we're using other systems. So good. I would just want to give you some suggestions and show you things, because most people aren't savvy in these departments, or they're allowing others to do it. So being educated is power, whether you do it yourself or not, or you have a team already that's doing it. Just say, look, I need to make sure the systemizing, because if there's still a bottleneck, that means that he's taking and talking to too many people that aren't even qualified quite yet, possibly.
Right. It's kind of one of those things, though, where he has to kind of go through the motions to actually be able to figure out what he's supposed to be asking people. Right. Like, again, I go through things very differently. So I can't train people on what I do. I can't. I don't train people. I will probably punch somebody in the face before they've actually learned anything. I have zero patience for people. But with investors, I have a phone call with them and they're in. Right. And I know within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But I know within the first 5 minutes that they're in or they're out. Right. But I can't train somebody on that. So basically he's having to kind of go through the motions to figure out what those questions look like, how best to ask, how to do the stuff. So that's where it's just part of the process. So, and again,
he's such a new sales guy. So could you literally write down 10 questions that you would want to ask an owner?
We've done that. Yeah. We've given him, I've said, ask these questions, but it's just a matter of how do you ask it and when do you ask it? And, cause you don't want to ask somebody something too personal in question number 3, and then they're going to shut down and not even want to answer anything with you. Right. So it's just part of the process.
I gotcha. This is the kind of stuff that I love the most. I love systematizing and making things really super sexy and easy for people, especially new sales guys that need to have qualifying information before they attend. Even an application form, I'm sure that they're probably filling something like that out. They're not just taking cold calls. Because applications, you can ask people, how many employees do you have? How much money do you make? How much money are you willing to invest in an app? And people will answer it, right? They answer it every day. So those are little simple things. So I guess moving forward then, just understanding now what you do, what your model is, where the potential gaps are that you're currently filling now is, obviously January next week is not going to work for you guys coming to an event of ours. It's a little too soon, but we do have, we have an event coming up in May here in Bali. And then the next event for the end of the year in Orlando, Florida. And that's where we do our we either do brand makeovers with our clients, we help them systematize their processes, and more importantly, they come to the events to film their brand story film, content they may have, so that you can actually productize your knowledge. And I would suggest most of my clients that do come and work with us, they think that their process is so robust and so difficult that everyone needs to physically hold them. Although when they realize that there is probably 8 steps that it takes, either teach someone what you do, right, or help them move through a process, that they can typically productize their knowledge. And it's just us getting out of our own way, thinking that what we do can only be done either by us or that they need hand-holding. And that's where we create what's ascension model, where they come in on I'm sure if you've heard of the word ascension before, you're building an ascension in your company, but it's also purely automated. Right, they walk in through the free stuff, they get in to a quiz or getting information or qualified. Then they either have a call, we're in a group style, program or individual program, and then they come to something bigger with you. It's just really rethinking what you do and how your processes work. That's what we did with Jody. She thought for sure there was no possible way what she does on the private lending side that she could ever productize it and package it up in a video style course. She's just no way. I have to talk to people. I have to understand what their buying habits are, what their investing habits are. I have to all this process. I have to teach them all this stuff. We're like, no, just package it. And now she's selling it on automation, and then she's only talking to the high level investors. So that's really the process that we typically will take our clients through, and then cultivate at one of our events. But the events are specifically for film, they're for content filming if you're doing a course, and then they're for brand makeovers, photo shoots, all that, etc. So that's typically part of our ascension model. We do have clients that come just for filming, but we'd have to work together in advance so I can understand your story, get your story script written, really get what your business is about, get the keywords, understand what the hot points are for your client, so that the message in the story is clean and clear, right, and pulled completely through.
So when is that Florida one you would cut out?
Sorry. I do apologize for the internet. The event in Orlando is September. It's the third week of September into the very first week of October.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's something, like I said, when I saw Jody's stuff or the filming or whatever, I was like so blown away. It was so awesome. So that's where I was intrigued by that for sure. Yeah. The timeline, because I wasn't planning on being back in the States until November again. So
States in North America is quite easy to get to. So I guess usually when people want something, they'll just, they make that happen if it makes sense for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So at this point, it actually sounds like you guys kind of have a lot going on your end and you're handling it all, other than possibly us helping you with a film, in the future. So is there anything more that you may see that you might need assistance with or guidance with at this point, or any questions that you have for us?
No, but yeah, pretty much it was just more so the filming side of things that I was really intrigued by. And then we'll see how we make out with the digital stuff we've been putting into play and getting our team together, and maybe that'll change by, fall. But right now that's where I was really blown away by that. So.
Okay. Were there any questions about how the film is produced and what that means, and what was your intention to come then to learn more about film?
Just basically kind of piggybacking off of what you guys did with Jody, just because again, we don't have anybody in Saskatoon who can get that high caliber film quality. It's just not going to happen. Right. And we totally get that. So yeah, that's just where I was like, that might be a good way to do it. So.
Yeah. So we've worked on all Jody's stuff from start to finish, all the way through to the film side of it. And, all of her funnels and all of that with her book, etc. Okay, so you really had no questions. You just wanted to meet up with us then?
I don't know, how much are the costs for that, or how does that work?
Sure, I can send you over a sales page so you can take a look at what the events entail, because we do everything. It's a full all-inclusive 5-day event. We work deep dive into your business. We've got, we do complete photo shoots for your brand, we do your brand story, and we also film any type of content, like if there's, course content or education content, our film production team films all of that. So that's what Jody's going to come here for now, the second event, because she's also now a speaker. So I take clients from literally starting to fulfilling on their complete automation and ascension so they can sell, and then teach them how to be a speaker so they can or speak to sell what they do on stages, and I get them on stages, PR, media. Jody's going to be in Entrepreneur Magazine next month. So we do everything from the start to finish and pull the client through. And so that's what she's coming here to do. All the details about what the event's like. There's a documentary on what we do every day at the event, so you can watch that as well. May, we're filling May, but May is not actually good for you anyway, so that's good because it's almost full. September, we also have a long list of applications that are coming through for September, because it's a big 25,000 square foot house. It's massive. And it's really a fun event. So that's always a real popular one. Last time we had 33 people that came to that event. Oh, wow. Bali's 8 to 10, because we keep it really simple.
Wow.
Yeah, so Bali's very, very intimate. We've got a big house on the beach, and it's very private. So we do a lot of deep dive stuff. Our clients leave with a complete automated sales process with a complete ease of their mind. So because they have a complete team that's doing it all for them and you're not actually having to figure it out and teach the team. So that's why we come in and do a deep dive for our clients, because it's hard putting pieces together usually. And when you've got a lot of people that don't know what they're doing and you're trying to help them, you're doing your zone of genius, which sounds like it's 24 hours a day. And then you're trying to tell them what might need to happen based on information that you're bringing in. And that can become challenging. So our clients are like you. They're very, very busy. They're quite successful. They got a lot going on. And we bring all the pieces together and go, and we just pull the string. It tightens it up. And then now everything's set up for you. So that's what I like to do the best. So Bali's smaller. Orlando's about anywhere from 25 to 30, typically.
So for Bali, do you do filming there too then?
Oh yeah. This is like full on film. It's amazing process. It's super fun. Actually, so you'll see it. When you go to our sales page, I apologize. I assumed that Jody had shared with you the events page and shared with you everything that we do. That's part of my mistake, just my assumptions. Because typically I don't take calls, nor they're personal people. Other ones, they usually have to talk to someone else first until they're really qualified. And then I'm like, okay, they're ready to go. So I apologize. I thought you may have already had that.
No,
yeah, so we can hand you this here. It goes through this link. I'll just show you. I can even open up my screen a little bit. It goes through what we do. Where did that come from? Let's see. That's the wrong one. That was interesting. Not sure what just happened there. Larcy, you just dropped the link for the yeah. Just took it somewhere unusual. Okay, so did that switch over, ladies?
Yeah, you get the
Yes.
right page.
Did my screen flip or no?
Yeah, we're seeing the retreat page.
Okay. Sorry, we're really delayed today. So crazy how delayed we are. Yeah, so this is the current updated event here. Jody's also a speaker, so we're filming Jody. So what we do is we set up, our events are set up as if it's your event. So Jody's coming as an attendee, but we set it up like it's hers. So we film Jody speaking, teaching what she teaches, and we film it as if she's teaching her own workshop. So now this whole event that she's going to have a film at is going to look like Jody is hosting her own event here. And then I also put her on stages. We've got another big stage that she's speaking on, international stage. And so the events are set up as if they're yours. So everything that we film is your brand story, it's your filming. So we capture all these essence in these moments of you filming. So we'll provide you with all of this. All of our stuff is all inclusive. You come to the most epic locations in the world and stay in beautiful, places. And then we just set everything up, and we do all of the strategic planning, and then of course automation, etc. But this has our full documentary. So you'll see what we do every day, how we do it. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And then we just do fun stuff as well. Yeah, so this is right now all of these are completely sold out. This is the all-inclusive retreat package. It includes everything: brand film, content films, photo shoots. This one is just coming to the retreat with photo shoot only, no filming. And then for this event coming up next week, we have a one-day event. Some people are coming for a day for a big mastermind, because that's also where Jody and the other clients are going to be speaking in front of like 100 people. So we bring in audiences as well. So now I taught Jody how to do her first pitch. So we wrote all of her slides, did her first pitch, and then she sold from stage 2 days after our event. So that's how I work with our clients. I take them from start to finish, right? And that's why we do it this way for this one. So we're bringing all these people in. They get to actually speak. We film them speaking. She gets now a teaser reel. She gets her story film, all of that, all in one spot. And you can bring partners as well.
I was going to say, so how does it work if there's two of us?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's actually quite easy. We've got partners that come a lot. So you do individual photo shoots, you do together photo shoots, and then the brand story film. It's just the way we write the script, right? So it could be like there's like one person that the storyline is about you. Let's say if you're the CEO and you have a partner, and then it's like you and your partner working together, and the storyline says my partner and I, she works on this, and then it's just you and her working together. If she doesn't need to be as the voice or as the front scene. If you both are, then you write the script and film you in a way that showcases the two of you as the owners.
Okay. Does it change pricing at all?
No, we allow the partners can come. All you do is you add on it does change pricing slightly. It's just cost. So you don't pay for two people. So the 16.5 is you add on a partner for 2,500. That just covers all costs, and then you do everything together. What we do, most of our clients will pay in full, so they pay one time up front. And when they do that, we cut off 2,500, which then allows them to bring a guest for free, right, without a cost. And so we try to make it as easy as possible for all of our clients to do that. And then what happens is that when you say, okay, look, I think I'm coming in May or I'm coming in September, we then start working with you about 2 to 3 months before, either once a week or once every other week. Usually in the beginning it's less, and then it starts to ramp up because I either need to know what we're working on, which most of my clients were pulling the Ascension model for them, right, building. Others are working on that script. So we give you the storyline script. You start hashing out your first kind of ideas. Then we kind of map it out and work it on it together. So we run through story selling scripts, and we give you what should be said in every single line of the script. And then we start bringing it together, utilizing Joseph Campbell's style of the hero's journey, if you will. So that's how we plot out all of our filmmaking. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's extremely rewarding at the end. Like, obviously you've seen Jodi's films and you're like, right? That's where that storytelling comes from. That's where the oxytocin hits, and someone sees a film and you're not talking about your story or telling them what you do. They're just like, I want to know you, right? And then whatever you sell is like of course I would like to buy from you, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the type of sales process we like to create. Just bring them in naturally without having to sell. Bring them in through something that allows them to go, wow, you are just the person I should work with.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'll definitely look at that stuff whenever you send it. And I appreciate your time. And
great to meet you. It's really important for us to understand, who we're speaking with. And so I appreciate your time. What we end up doing, we'll send this over to you, and how we work is Victoria will provide you with the May dates and September dates. And how we would work is if you're like, you know what, I want one or the other, but I know I want one, and I'm going to commit to that. Obviously, commitment is everything. That just allows alignment and everything in our schedules to open for us. And once you say, I want to do one or the other, then we take the deposit to secure your spot, because we fill up all year. Like, we're already going to be full for the year. That's why I think Jodi said we should talk to Rhonda now before the event. Because every time I launch my events, like, I have a teaser film that's going to come from this event. Once I launch, everyone's like, oh my gosh, when's the next one? So then we fill May, right? And May's already got 3 ladies already committed to joining, and we're only going to take 6. So I think that's why we got, Jodi was like, please don't worry. So that's important. So that's usually how we'll do it. Or not usually, that is exactly how we do it, is someone says, yep. Then we decide, okay, we'll take a deposit, we'll secure you, and then we decide on the right times. We start working together and building it slowly. And in that regard too, anyone that comes to our events, Rochelle, I see and I understand where you are. I would help the people that are helping you, because I have a feeling there could be some gaps in knowledge base of what they might be doing, and I'd love to help that process. So that is what I do best, is see what goes on and pull it and go, okay, you need to do this, right? I'm a strategist, right? I'm not a coach. I don't do that. Coaches go, yeah, you can ride the bike. Strategists say, put your foot on this pedal and push it. Now push it, right? And that's what we do very, very well. And we've launched 134 now new products and brands in the last 31 months, because we have a system and we know what we're doing, and we're very strategic on it. And so I wanted to share that with you, because I have a feeling that there's a lot going on for you guys, and that you might need a voice of God to say, okay, awesome team, that's not going to work. This is what you should do. And either we help you do it, or I give them guidance. And that's part of what I do when someone invests in an event, or they invest in one of our 3 to 6 months programs. Like, that's just a given, because I can't put my stamp on just a film knowing that someone's process is actually broken. I just can't.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's part of we call it the seal of the KISS promise. We just make sure it all works.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. And Victoria will send this all over to you, and then we'll, it would be best if we followed up with you in 2 to 3 days by Thursday. Just
no. Yeah. My business partner's on vacation in Costa Rica right now. She's not even back for a week. So definitely not going to be able to talk to her before then. So.
Okay. What we like to do is with integrity with our clients is we always follow up with you in 2 days, 2 to 3 days, just making sure that you've got the information, everything's clear.
Okay.
Feel free to reply with an email saying, thanks guys, I've taken a look. This sounds great. It sounds horrible. I'm still waiting for my partner, whatever that might be. With integrity as a follow-up as a business, we maintain that type of a line of communication.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
Okay.
Great to meet you. Thanks, Victoria. We'll see you and have a good night. Our day is starting. And I
enjoy.
Be unstoppable.
Awesome. Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
See you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.